Picture someone you know, someone magnetic, someone you can't quite explain, but every room they walk into gets warmer. People remember their name, people want to help them. They seems to have this invisible edge in life and you have never been able to figure out what it is. Now picture the opposite. Someone who talks too much, argues when they don't need to, criticizes when they should listen, tries to impress people and end up pushing them away instead. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of us are closer to the second person than the first. Not because we are bad, just because nobody taught us the rules of human connection. Well, that's exactly what this book does. Dale Carnegie wrote How to Win Friends and Influence People in 1936. It was almost 90 years ago, and it is still one of the best selling books of all time because the core inside has never changed one bit. People don't change their behavior because of logic. They change because of how you make them feel. Master that and you master relationship. At work, at home, with strangers, everywhere. This isn't manipulation, this is understanding human nature. And Carnegie lays it out with startling simplicity. Think about the last time you tried to change someone's mind. Maybe it was a coworker who wouldn't listen, a friend you gave honest feedback to, a boss you tried to impress. What happened? Chances are it didn't go well because we were all wired the same way. We think we are reasonable, logical, open to being corrected. We are not. Carnegie opens with this: criticism doesn't work. Not because people are weak, but because when you criticize someone, their brain triggers defensiveness. They dig in, they stop listening, they remember the attack, not the point. Al Capone, one of the most wanted criminals in America, genuinely believed he was doing the public a service. That's how powerful self justification is. And you are up against the same force every time you try to change someone's mind the wrong way. So, what's the alternative? Carnegie gives us the three foundational rules, and they sound almost too simple. That's the trick. They are simple, but almost nobody actually does them. Rule 1: don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Not because the other person is right, but because it never works. Instead of changing minds, it breeds resentment. Rule 2: give honest and sincere appreciation, not flattery. Flattery is cheap and people smell it, but genuine appreciation for something real. Carnegie says this is the deepest craving in human nature: to feel important, to feel seen. Rule 3: arouse in the other person an eager want. The only way to get anyone to do anything is to make them want to do it. Not you want, their want. When you see the world from their perspective, everything changes. Now Carnegie gets tactical. 6 principles for making people genuinely like you, and every single one is counterintuitive. Become genuinely interested in other people, not fake interested, genuinely curious. Carnegie tells the story of a dog who makes no effort to earn your living, never flatters, never pretends, and yet a dog has more friends than most people. Why? Because a dog is delighted to see you every single time. Be more like the dog. Smile. It sounds trivial, but Carnegie quotes research that says the expression on your face is more important than the clothes on your back. A smile says that I am happy to be here. I am happy to see you. That is rare. That is magnetic. Remember names. A person's name is to them the sweetest sound in any language. When you forget it, it signals they don't matter. When you use it, it signals they do. Be a good listener. Encourage others to talk about themselves. This one will change your social life. People are desperate to be heard. The person who listens deeply is more interesting than the person who talks brilliantly. Ask questions, be curious, let them shine. Talk in terms of the other person's interests. Before every conversation, ask, what does this person care about? Make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. There's one phrase Carnegie believed could change almost any relationship. I may be wrong. I frequently am. Let us look at the facts. Watch what happens. Now we go deeper. Making people like you is one thing. Getting them to change their minds, that's harder. Carnegie's rules here feel almost radical. The only way to win an argument is to avoid it. Even if you win a debate, you lose the relationship. The person who lost will resent you. Carnegie says 9 times out of 10, An argument ends with the both people making convinced they were right than before it started. Don't play that game. Never say you are wrong. Not directly, not bluntly. Even if they are wrong, it triggers defensiveness instantly. Instead, say, I may be mistaken. Let me check the facts together. This keeps the conversation open. If you were wrong, admit it quickly and enthusiastically. This disarms people completely. When you say, I was completely wrong, you were right, before they can say it, they almost always soften. They lose the need to attack. Begin in a friendly way. Abraham Lincoln used to say, a drop of honey catches more flies than a gallon of gall. You cannot win someone to your side while you are irritating them. Begin with warmth, always. Get them saying yes, yes immediately. Start with what you agree on, ask questions where the answer is obviously yes. You're not tricking them, you're building momentum in the right direction. Here's the moment where most people give up on this book or on the ideas in it. Because you try the principles, you smile more, you listen, you bite your tongue instead of criticizing, and sometimes it doesn't work. Someone still snaps at you, a colleague still takes credits, a conversation still goes sideways, and you think this is manipulation, or this is too soft, or why should I be the one to change? Carnegie anticipates this. He wasn't naive. He knew that changing your behavior feels unnatural at first. It feels like you are giving up power. But he argues the opposite is true. The person who controls their reactions, who chooses connection over ego, has more power, not less. The question is, can you do it consistently, even when it's hard? Carnegie's final section is on leadership, how to change people without making them feel bad, and it's where everyone comes together. Begin with praise and honest appreciation. Before you deliver hard feedback, open with something real and true that you admire. It's not sugarcoating, it's creating safety for the truth to land. Call attention to mistakes indirectly. Replace but with and. Instead of you did great work but you missed the deadline, try you did great work, and I think we can make it even stronger by hitting the timeline next time. One word, completely different feeling. Talk about your own mistake before criticizing others. It lowers defenses immediately. When you say, I have made this same mistake before, the other person stops feeling attacked and starts listening. Give the other person a fine reputation to live up to. This is Carnegie's most powerful leadership tool. Tell someone they were trustworthy and they want to be trustworthy. Tell a child they were generous and they become more generous. People rise to the labels you give them. Here's what Carnegie is really saying. Underneath all the tactics and principles, the most important thing you can do for another person is make them feel genuinely valued. Not important for your benefit, not appreciated because you wanted something, genuinely seen. Think about the person who have changed your life. A teacher who believed in you before you believed in yourself. A friend who listened without judgment. A boss who praised you publicly. A stranger who smiled at you at the right moment. They probably didn't give you money. They didn't solve your problems. They made you feel like you mattered. And you have never forgotten it. That's the power Carnegie is handling you. The ability to be that person for someone else. Every day in every room you walk into. Remember that person from the beginning? The one everyone wanted to be around? The magnetic one? They are not more charismatic than you. They are not smarter. They are not luckier. They just learn something you now know too. Stop trying to be interesting. Be interested. Stop trying to be impressive. Be sincere. Stop trying to win. Try to understand. Do that and people won't just like you. They will remember you.